COVID-19 has resulted in major social, political and legal challenges globally. As states around the world adopt emergency measures to address the crisis, it is critical that they continue to uphold the rule of law, due process, right to justice, protect and respect international standards. As the world commemorates this year's International Day of Democracy, it is an opportunity to review the state of democracy around the world. The theme for the year is COVID-19, a spotlight on democracy. Joining me now via Skype from Lagos is spokesperson Movement for Socialist Initiative, Daga Tola. Thank you for joining us on the Midday News.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good afternoon all.
All right, good afternoon. Now, this day is set to be a day to perhaps review how the democracy perhaps is thriving around the world. If we had to bring it back home in Nigeria, over 20 years of democracy, on the back of the pandemic that we are facing, talking about COVID-19, how have we fared?
Well, I think the very first point is to say that humanity has come a long way with democracy, beginning from the Greek society to where we are today. And within the context of the Nigerian space, from the First to the Fourth Republic, we are faced with the popular definition by Abraham Lincoln, that this is supposed to express a government for the people, by the people, and for the people. But interestingly, for us as Nigerians, as for a greater majority of people living in the third world, Fela's own definition comes in more vivid, where democracy is described ultimately as a demonstration, of craze by those wielding political power. And this is made clearly manifest in the Nigerian situation. And placed within the reference of the COVID-19 pandemic, not just in Nigeria, nearly in all parts of the world, the mass of the working people have been left to their fate without any attempt by the ruling elites to use the resources of society to resolve the existing contradictions. If Nigeria will be going to another election just this weekend in Edo State, and what will happen in Edo State will clearly not be different from all of the elections that have been occurring.
Okay, just to stay focused on the issue of the day, you mentioned using the resources of the country to address the challenges, perhaps. And some would say that while the lockdown was on, the government came up with palliatives to help cushion the effect of COVID-19. Isn't that a step by the government trying to address issues?
When you say palliative, to what extent? Who and who got all of these palliatives? Let us not forget that the resources budgeted for all of these palliatives, a greater majority of them were frittered away by members of the ruling elite. But more importantly, is to address what the regime has now imposed on Nigerians. We are not yet out of this pandemic. How do you justify an increase in electricity tariff? How do you justify an increase in the pump price of what? Of fuel? The entire contradictions of the failure up till this moment to build functional refineries in Nigeria has placed Nigerians in a dual jeopardy situation, where if the oil price goes up internationally, they are forced again to increase it. If it's down, they are forced again on the basis of low revenue again to increase the pump price of fuel. So fundamentally, if you begin to talk of the benefits of democracy for Nigeria, these benefits should be manifested in a functional economy. But unfortunately for a mass majority of the working people in this country, the reverse is what is the case. As we speak, the minimum wage increase in Lagos State, for example, the higher institutions have called the strikes, because even since the implementation of the minimum wage, the lecturers and staffs in our for higher institutions, the minimum wage has not been implemented. Across various states, governors have not implemented the new minimum wage. So and this is why the question of democracy, as important as it is, the kind of democracy you have currently in Nigeria, in the greater parts of the world,
we have to leave the conversation here now.
Of the club.
Thank you for your time, Daga Tola, on the Midday News.
Thank you very much.